Good afternoon, dear students. Today's our new topic is the role of relations in our life. And so, let's begin our lesson by looking through the new words and new vocabulary of the topic. So, if you look at this chart, first given some new vocabulary, new words according to the topic. Uh, get on really well and have a lot in common, enjoy each other's company, see eye to eye on, strike up a relationship, get on like a house on fire, go back years, good to know, just good friends, keep in touch with, fell for, love at first sight, hit it off, in a relationship, well matched, who put the question to settle down. Have their ups and downs, breathe up, looking at. Tying the knot, fall head over heels in love, drift apart, fall in love, to lose touch with, healthy relationship. So they are the new words. Today is our new topic. Let's look through with these new words and phrases with the definitions. The first one is to break up. What does it mean to break up? To break up is to end a romantic relationship. To drift apart, to become less close to someone. To enjoy someone's company, to like spending time with someone. To fall for, to fall in love. To fall head over heels in love. To start love someone a lot. To fall out. To fall out with, to have a disagreement and stop being friends, to get on like a house on fire, to like someone's company very much indeed, to get on well with, to understand someone and enjoy similar interests, to get to know, to begin to know someone. And next one, to go back years, to have known someone for a long time. To have a lot in common, to share similar interests. To have ups and downs. To have good and bad times. A healthy relationship, good, positive relationship. To hit it off, to quickly become good friends with. To be in a relationship, to be romantically involved with someone. To be just good friends, to not be romantically involved. Keep in touch with, to keep in contact with. To lose touch with, not to see or hear from someone any longer. Love at first sight, to fall in love immediately you meet someone. To pop the question, its meaning that to ask someone to marry you. To see eye to eye, to agree on a subject. Settle down, to give up the single life and start a family. To strike up a relationship, to begin a friendship. To tie the knot, its meaning to get married. To be well matched, to be similar to each other. To work at a relationship, to try maintain a positive relationship with someone. So they are the new words for today's lesson. Now let's watch a video about the flow of relationships.
Today I want to talk about the single most powerful force on the entire planet, something that is invisible, something that most of you probably have, something that actually shapes your life in countless ways that we sometimes don't even realize, that we might discount and dismiss. Today what I want to talk about the actual deep power of relationships, of friendships, and of connections. Because I actually believe that relationships are the single most powerful force on the planet that shape your daily lives in countless ways. But here's the thing. I know as soon as I say I want to talk about the power of relationships, the power of friendships, and that sort of thing, that it kind of sounds a little bit like a My Little Pony episode, right? Like it sounds like things that we teach kindergartners, not mature adults and high school students and that sort of thing. But here's the absolute truth. Relationships are the most powerful force on the planet. And when we actually sometimes dismiss them or discount them, what we're actually doing is this. We are actually dismissing and sidelining the most important thing in our lives. And this is actually what science is proving to us. Science is actually showing to us that what matters most, if you want to live a happy, a healthy, and a whole life, is actually having good connections and friendships around you. Did you know that if you have close relationships, you're actually less likely to have a cold? Did you know if you actually have really close friendships that you'll actually recover faster from surgery? Or this is crazy. Did you know that you're actually 2 to 5 times less likely to have a major health challenge in your life if you have close relationships? And in our epidemic of mental health concerns and challenges, what professionals are also teaching us is that we need people to journey with us long term, actual friendships that we know and who know us. A study out of Brigham Young University found this, and this is like startling, but it's absolutely true. If you have really deep and close relationships, you will live longer than other people. That not having close relationships is the equivalent to you smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So relationships are these incredible, powerful things, but we have this tendency to actually discount them, to dismiss them, or to neglect them. One social psychologist out of Harvard, he found this, that your friendships actually account for as much as 90% of your success or failure in life. 90%. Like that's huge. That's amazing. And I think what we know from science and also from psychology, we also know experientially. That if I were to ask you, what is the single most important and best time in your life? My bet is, if you're to reflect on it, that relationships were a part of it. And if they weren't, the first thing you wanted to do when you had an amazing experience was actually go share that with someone else, right? And so what I really believe is that relationships drive our world. That they're invisible, they're around us all the time. We have them, and if we don't, we search for them. And I believe that they are literally the most powerful thing in our lives. That we're actually wired for story. We're actually wired for connection. We're actually created for relationships. Andrew Root, he puts it this way. He says, we are our relationships. They're the very core of our existence, the source of our life. I believe that that is absolutely true. But here's kind of maybe put it this way. Maybe the tension in your life is anything like mine. The tension is this, that in our lives we have now what psychologists call frenemies. These are people who are on the outside of us, who know lots about us, but not really what's going on within us. We kind of follow it, right? They might know what's on your Instagram feed and what you did on the weekend, but they might not really know where your spirit, your soul, where you're actually at on the inside. And so for social media and all of its great ability to connect us, it doesn't often actually foster the depth of relationships that we need. Jen Michelle Pollack, she puts it this way. She says, our connections have grown broader in our world, but they've also gone shallower. And so I think here's the tension, that we know that relationships matter. We know this from science. We know this psychologically. We know this probably personally. But then we have this other tension where we don't have these depths of connections that we need, or we can actually tend to discount or dismiss or forget the most important thing in our lives, relationships. So if I can ignite anything in you today, here's what I want to ignite. I want to ignite in you to not actually discount or devalue the relationships that are sitting all around you right here, right now. They can account for as much as 90% of your success or failure in life. What does that actually mean in real life terms? To actually invest in the people around us, to actually care for the people around us. Well, I want to share with you a little story from my own life about when I was some of your age, when I was starting high school. Can we just agree to this? High school is occasionally hard, correct? Right? It is occasionally hard. And when I started high school, I was much in your kind of place for some of you. I had like lots of excitements, some fears, some nerves, some anxiety. But my life really shifted in high school in grade 9. Because what ended up happening was this. My dad was unfortunately diagnosed with a really rare and difficult and aggressive form of cancer. And cancer sucks, and it's awful, and it's evil. And what it started to do was actually steal life from my dad faster than health or faster than medicine or the health professions could actually heal. My dad was given a year long to live at a 10% chance of even making that. So things were incredibly difficult and brutal. And like I'm sure you've seen around us, sometimes when we encounter difficulty, we make really bad choices, right? And that's what happened to me. I made some really poor choices in high school. I started to kind of go, veer a little bit to the left. But here's the thing. The thing that actually saved my life or altered it or shaped it, that actually moved me in the right direction, it wasn't getting new information. It wasn't having better technology or just kind of struggling through it. The thing that literally saved my life when I was in a really dark and difficult place in high school, struggling with the thought of losing my dad, was a friendship and a relationship and a connection. I had one friend. What she did was she really committed to me through all of high school. Not for like a day, not for like a week, but for like years. She was there for me through the ups and the downs and all that happens. And she actually cared for me. And by that I mean like they actually listened, right? She didn't send me like emojis. She was actually there and actually listened with presence and with purpose. And I can say this without a shadow of a doubt, although it sounds a little bit cliched, it sounds a little bit kind of maybe dramatic, but I would not be here on this stage today if it wasn't for her. And I say that to you because it's true, and the true thing that you know already probably deep inside is that relationships can actually save people, right? You can actually be saved by others around you. You can actually be a part of rescuing and healing and moving people towards a better future. Because here's just the truth, okay? Amy Stanley puts it this way. He says, your friends will determine the quality and the direction of your life. And that's absolutely true. The people who are around you will determine the quality and the direction of your life. And so because of one friendship, my quality and my direction of my life was altered. And the thing that saved me, the thing that actually changed my life, wasn't anything at all, but a person. So today, what I want to ignite into you is to actually value the people who are sitting around you, to actually value the friendships that you have. Because the end of my story is this, is that my dad, he beat the odds, and he actually lived for another 13 years. I worked with him for 8 years, and my best friend through high school, who was there for me through it all, well, I ended up marrying her, which is a good idea to do with your best friend, right? And so what I want to just remind you, honestly, is something you already know deep within, is that if you're in difficulty, what you are going to want is friends to actually care and commit to you through the whole thing. And if your life is bursting with movement, with passion, with momentum, where things are really going great, what you will also want is relationships and people to share that with us. So today, if I can give you just one main idea, it's just this, that relationships are life. They're not sidelined to life. They're not a part of life. Relationships actually are life. They're the things that will give you life. They're the things that will actually get you through life. And I think that even though this is a simple message that relationships are life, it is an absolutely radical and revolutionary message. Here's the thing. Our world is into disposable everything. And so we end up with disposable friendships. We are taught to invest in all sorts of other things, like that we should be popular, healthy, wealthy, all of that kind of stuff. But what really matters, hear me, is creating and cultivating relationships that last for a lifetime. That is what will give you life. And here's how you know this. Because even if you end up at the end of your life and you're incredibly healthy, you're incredibly wealthy, you got lots of education, you're incredibly smart, but you don't have any friendships, you will not actually have life. You'll be missing out on everything. And so today, if I can ignite something in you, it's to actually value the relationships that are around you. That relationships are life, not a part of life. They are the most important thing in life. And they are the most powerful force on the entire planet. So what does this mean for us to actually maybe not just hear new information, but actually maybe live differently to find some transformation? I'll just say this. I think what we should do with this, maybe information, is that you should actually invest in your friendships. I think that's what it means on a practical level. That's what my best friend in high school, Krista, who I'm not married to, that's what she did with me. She actually invested in me. And here's how. She committed to me before I was even worth committing to over a long haul, over a long term. And I think that's what you can do to the people who are around you. To not just be friends with them when it's convenient, but to actually be friends with them through the thick and thin of life. The other thing that I think you can do is you can actually care for your friends, right? You can actually, I know this is maybe crazy, you You can actually listen to them and maybe not just waiting for your turn to talk, right? I think that these are some practical real life stuff we can do that will actually change the lives around us. And here's what I believe. I believe that you can, right here, right now, change the world. And I believe that the way you begin with that is by changing somebody's world around you, by how you invest in their life, by how you actually care for them, how you actually commit to them, no matter what is going on, and saying, I will be there for you. Andrew Root says, we are our relationships. They are the very source of our life and the very core of our existence. And I believe that we should actually just live that out. Because when you get to be older and when you're moving into, at the very end of your life, what will matter most to you is not all the money you've earned, it's not all the prestige you may have had or popularity or fame. What will matter most to you are the relationships that you have created and cultivated. So today, with this theme of Ignite, I think we should actually be ignited to value the relationships we have in real life terms, in really practical ways, by caring and committing to the people who are around us. Because here's the thing. Relationships are all around us, and they are the most invisible and also powerful force in the world. So let's never devalue them. Let's never dismiss them. Instead, let's invest in them, and let's begin to change the world that way by actually caring for the people around us. Grace and peace. Thanks.
So, if you watch this video, you can see that the role of the value of the relations. So, the most important thing that the most important value in the world that relationships with other peoples. We must care and we must value our relationships with other people. So let's respect each other and don't dismiss each other, and let's live together happily with our friends and with our relatives. So our lesson is over. Thank you for attention. Goodbye.